Alright, today's video I'm going to take you through a tool haul. I got a handful of items from Harry J. Epstein, and these are items they're considering obsolete from SK Tools. They've been doing business with SK, I don't know, since the 30s, I believe, and let me show you some of the items they got, and then I'll show you the ones that I got. So if you never bought from Harry J. Epstein, I would encourage you to do so, as they promote and support American-made tool manufacturers, and they bought a whole load of items from SK that are considered obsolete. And the first items you could see here are the T-handles. And these are very similar to the Bondhaus. They're made, I believe, by Bondhaus. And what I did is actually snapped up all of the metric ones that are on here. I didn't buy any of the fractional sizes, as I really didn't have a need for them, but I do use the metric ones on my mini lathe, and they come in handy. And you can see here they pretty much have a full assortment of all of them right now in stock, and the prices are reasonable. You know, between $2 and $3 for the smaller sizes, and the larger sizes are around, you know, close to $5 up to $6. Now they're calling these items obsolete, which means that SK will no longer carry some of them, and that's where it's tricky, right? So it looks like they're getting out of these T-handle line completely. But some of the items they're still going to make, just not in the current sets. Like I would assume that they're not going to sell that adjustable oil filter wrench anymore. I did buy that 6-piece precise pliers a while back on the Steals and Deals for around this price. So that's a pretty good deal for $95. They're extremely well made. And if you need a set, I would say get them, because if you compare the pricing to any other USA-made precision pliers, that's a really good deal, including channel locks. So yeah, here, you know, is an example of obsolete. So it looks like they are getting out of all of the 3/4 inch drive sockets completely, which is kind of disappointing, just because SK is known for their sockets, and to get out of a whole line like that kind of hurts. But if you look at like the metric sockets there, they might just not make that set up to those sizes anymore, and I'll explain that a little bit further down in a minute. I wouldn't recommend those half moon wrenches, as I got them on the Steals and Deals in the past. The finish isn't great on them, and so forth. And just scrolling down here, taking a look at some other items. The screwdrivers is a hot topic, because I don't know if they're going to continue to make them anymore. It looks like they're pretty much getting out of the whole line of the ones with the blow molded handles. Maybe they'll be going to the hard, you know, keeping the hard handled screwdrivers, but that's yet to be determined. The wrenches, it looks like they're going to keep most of the wrenches, but they're getting out of maybe this particular size. They might not make a 14-piece set anymore. It might only be a 12-piece set. Same thing with the stubbies. Maybe there's going to be a larger set that they carry. So they might still make some of these items, but these are the ones that are just obsolete. I would recommend that metric set. That's a pretty good deal for an 8-piece set. Once again, a 3/4 inch ratchet, they're getting out of, you know, the 3/4 inch size stuff altogether. And nobody knows 100% exactly what's going to happen. I'm getting my information from Harry J. Epstein, as they're so close to this and they're so super knowledgeable. Check out their videos on their website. But they're basically thinking that they're going to make a lot of the sockets, the wrenches, and those type of items still in the USA. Some of these items that are considered obsolete, they will no longer carry. You'll never see them again. But some of them you just might see in different sizes, like I had mentioned. Here's some, you know, some pliers and whatnot. Looks like they're not going to have them anymore. So if you're interested in just having some SK nostalgia, pick them up. That is a monster pair of tongue and groove pliers. I love those. Those are the old Western Forge design slip joints. $85, a little steep for me. You know, they're probably getting out of these scrapers, but they're not getting out of sockets. As you see there, that socket set, they just might have a different set. They might not make that 13-piece set anymore. They might not make these 11-piece set anymore. They might make it a 12-piece set or something to that. Look at that ratchet, that 3/8 drive, slim flex. I had to have that, so I'll share that with you. I have that in my box. And once again, just more sockets. So don't panic on the sockets. It looks like they're still going to have them. Pretty good deal there on, you know, the smaller set of the quarter inch. The prices are fair, but not steals and deals prices. I'll say that. So if you see anything you like, I would encourage you to pick it up while you can. All right, so I pulled out some other ratchets to show you why I like this one so much and what I think is so awesome about it. So this is about 7 inches long, but what it is that you would think that this is a quarter-inch drive just because it's so thin, but it actually has a 3/8 drive head on it, or anvil, whatever you want to call it. So with that, this thing is great for getting into tight spots where you need to use a larger socket. So here's a 19 millimeter. You could never fit one. Oh, that's some tight detent on there as it's new. But look how nice that is. You could put a big socket on a small ratchet, and hear that. That is fine tooth. So that is the round head design. Fine tooth. I wanted to say I counted it up. It was 60 teeth. So, you know, when you compare that ratchet to a regular, let's call it quarter-inch ratchet, it's almost, you know, from the thickness standpoint, it's actually thinner in every way than a regular quarter-inch, which is already pretty thin. This is the pear head design SK. So it could get into tight spots. And then look, you know, you can never, you know, mostly you could go up to 15 millimeter. You need to use adapter, which would extend the size. So I know Snap-on, a lot of folks that like Snap-on, you could get the different heads. They'll get like a quarter-inch ratchet and put a 3/8 head in it. And that's essentially what this is. I believe Wright makes one as well that's similar. Comparing it to a standard 3/8 inch drive SK, look at that. I mean, that's a lot smaller. I love that it's the round head too and not the pear head. I just, you know, that's the classic look of the SK with the round head. I believe this one's 72 tooth and this one's 60, but this is fine. Oh, it's just wonderful. It almost has that quarter-inch feel to it. It's so fine, and the back drag just feels amazing on it. Let's see what else I would compare it to. Oh, so this is then, you know, I love this ratchet. So if you don't have one of these, they still make these. You could pick these up. This is the alternative to this. So if you wanted to get something that was a real stubby with a 3/8 on it head, this is what, you know, I would recommend for those small spots as well. It's just not as low profile though, and for different things where you're trying to get into a tight spot. So a little bit of a comparison there, and I guess just finally to compare it to the regular standard quarter-inch drive, you could see it's just it's thinner, and this is their classic old school, really well made round head quarter-inch. They work great, but when you look at it from the standpoint of thinness, you know, you can see there's advantages and disadvantages to both. All right, the next items in here is gonna, oh, this is a little bit of a surprise item, which I'll share with you at the end, which is kind of cool about HJE. The rest in here is all the T-handles, so let me unwrap them and show you. All right, so here's all the T-handles. I got a 2.5 all the way through 10 mil. It does skip some, but it skips all the same sizes that the Bond House set has. I did the quick math on them. They come up to about $26.50 for what I purchased here. So it is a little bit of a savings. The Bondhaus set, the same 8-piece set, goes for, I want to say, about $35. It does not have the nice case though, or not the case, but the thing to hold them to stand. So maybe I could find a nice piece of oak or something to stand these in, where I can make a little bit of a set for them. I will say I like the T-handle, like I mentioned, for certain application. I know when I'm working on my little mini vise, it's got a lot of the little hex, and just having the T-handle is really nice. So not, you know, useful for some things, but very useful for others. And what I was using in the past was this Pittsburgh set, really cheap. I think with the 30% off, I paid $5 or $6 for it, and it worked okay. But you could totally, I mean, it's not even, it's a joke. You can't even tell the difference. I mean, look at just the size on the 10 is a lot bigger. But I was thinking I might be able to use the holder for these, but what happens is the way the hex lines up, let's see if I can get, it's kind of on an angle. So I'll have to see how they all look in there. All right, there it is with a little bit of finagling. It made a nice little set. No need to get out a piece of scrap wood and try to make something. Just use that old Pittsburgh holder. Took the Pittsburgh sign off, as they no longer deserve to wear that name, with these beautiful USA made handles in there. Might need a little bit more fitting on that 2.5 millimeter if I choose to do so. And then how about that? A nice SK logo. Vintage one, be it. Completes the set. And one more thing I wanted to show you. You might say, why there's some red handles in there? It's because this has a 5.5 and a, what is that, a 4.5 millimeter that is not included. All right, the last item I'm going to share with you here is a decoder ring. Right? You think about the Christmas Story and the decoder ring. That's what they are doing at Harry J. Epstein to have a little bit of fun. You buy this for $10, and then you can save $20%, I should say, on all closeout items. So in the future, when I see something on there I want to buy that's a closeout, you go to the checkout, and then they'll give you a keyword on there, and you just spin this to get to that word, and when you have that word, you plug it in and you'll receive a 20% discount. So I thought that was kind of neat and fun to see. Alright, wrapping this video up. If you like SK as much as I do, and you want to get some of these items while you still can, especially this really unique type of ratchet, the fit and finish on it is just amazing. And that was the item that I was most excited to get. But I'm really happy with the way these T-handles came out. And I know they're well made, as Bombas makes amazing stuff. And I love the way my new sticker looks on